YouTube, what is going on? Welcome back to Pitch Talk. Okay, so who is going to be the Premier League's top goal scorer this season? We haven't had a Premier League top goal scoring race like this in years. 6 different players from different clubs, all challenging for the Premier League top goal scorer. Who is going to get the Golden Boot? So we've summarized it down to our top 6, from the top down to the 6th place, all in matches left at home, who has the best statistics, and we're going to narrow it down to who we think is going to be the Premier League's top goal scorer this season. So, leading the charge is Erling Haaland. No surprise there. We know Haaland is brilliant. He's an absolute goal machine. I would like to think that due to his current drought, that could be the reason why this race is as close as what it really is right now. He's joint on top, actually. And it's not the same Haaland we've seen last year. Defenders now know how to defend against him, and they've adapted to Manchester City's playing style. So that's why I think Haaland is struggling to get as many goals as last season. Nonetheless, he's still the Premier League top goal scorer, and to do that back-to-back seasons shows his quality and his class. He's an absolute machine. He's a robot, and we know that. So, like we said, Erling Haaland leads the charge with 20 goals this season, 20 Premier League goals. So basically, Haaland scores wherever he likes, whenever he likes. He doesn't have a set at home or away better ratio. It's kind of very balanced right now, almost at 50-50. Haaland at the Etihad this season has scored 11 goals and away from home, 9. So that just shows you that Haaland can adapt to any atmosphere. He doesn't require the Etihad solely to score. He, like I said, absolutely brilliant, but defenders have seemed to be able to adapt really well, and that's why Haaland seems to be struggling. Often they're doing a man marking on Haaland. They don't give him the space usually where balls can come in from behind from players like De Bruyne and Phil Foden. That's why somebody like Phil Foden is absolutely flourishing. Defenders are hooked on Haaland. So therefore, it's giving Phil Foden the space to push forward to get the goals and the assists, and that's why he's Manchester City's wonder kid this season. Haaland is leading the charge on 20 goals, like I said, 11 at home, 9 away. But he's not. I don't think he's going to be the Premier League's top goal scorer. So overall, Erling Haaland has 6 Premier League games left. 6 games, leading the charge. And 2 of which are at home. Favourable home fixtures against Wolves and West Ham where he can pop up. But like we said, he doesn't need a home or away advantage in order to score the goals. Do I think Haaland can be the Premier League top goal scorer this season? I don't. I really don't. He's had too much of a drought, and the fixtures that he has lined up for him aren't the easiest. So Brighton away, Nottingham, Wolves, etc. So although there's opportunity for goals, I don't see it coming from Haaland. He might get 1 or 2 more. Haaland is on penalty, so it does help his case in pushing for it. But overall, I don't see Haaland winning the Golden Boot this season. I don't. Now, in second place, and well, should I say first, who's joint up front with Haaland is Cole Palmer, shall I say. He's been unbelievable. A Manchester City reject. They got rid of him, sold him off to Chelsea. And how has he flourished in a team that is absolutely in a bad way? That Chelsea team is in a catastrophic way. You saw last night with the hiding against Arsenal, the 5-0 hiding. It just shows where Chelsea are at and where they can compete with the top 6. And not only the top 6, but the Premier League as a whole. They've become a mid-table team in the last few seasons. And I think without Cole Palmer and his 20 goals this season, Chelsea could have been in a much worse position come the final few game weeks. So for me, I think Cole Palmer has been one of the most instrumental players in the Chelsea team and in the Premier League. I think he's brilliant. If anybody deserves it, it's Cole Palmer. He's young, but he has flourished in Chelsea. Cole Palmer does have one disadvantage though. That is the home-away games. So unlike Haaland, where he can score wherever, Cole Palmer favours Stamford Bridge. He's scored so many of his goals there this season, and away goals haven't been enough. And that's why Chelsea seem to be struggling away from home. So overall, he's had 15 goals at Stamford Bridge and 5 goals away. That just shows you exactly where Cole Palmer's at, and that's why he could potentially struggle to win the Golden Boot. He deserves it, but it's those statistics that show that he could very well struggle. He has 2 home games left against Spurs and Bournemouth. Both favourable in terms of being able to score. Both are leaking goals. Although Spurs are a very good team, they're leaking a lot of goals. They're not keeping the clean sheets like they used to. Cole Palmer also being on penalties helps the case. So that's why he really levels out with Erling Haaland this season. But, 3 home games. He's got Spurs, he's got West Ham, and he's got Bournemouth. So he's got 3 home games, favourable home games where he can score in all 3, and 3 away games. So he's sitting with 6 games left to perhaps do something this season. The away games aren't as easy as you'd like. Aston Villa away, Nottingham away, Brighton away. So for me, Cole Palmer can score in the home games, and unless Chelsea get penalties away, I don't see the goals coming. They seem to struggle away from home. They don't know how to score goals. But like I said, if anybody really deserves it, out of these 6, I would say he's probably the most worthy of it, alongside one more player we'll get to. But overall, Cole Palmer, 20 goals, 15 at home, 5 away. I don't know, guys. It's a tough one for Cole Palmer. 3 home games left. Maybe he can bring out the goods. Then, next, a man that continues to flourish against any opponent in any league. He has just been brilliant. Ole Watkins. He does not know how to stop scoring. He's scored in Europe, Premier League. He's just overall fantastic. He's sitting 1 goal behind Haaland and Palmer. So he's on 19 goals so far. And another one like Erling Haaland doesn't favour a home or away fixture. 9 goals at home, 10 goals away. It just shows you Ole Watkins can score wherever. So basically, Ole Watkins, the stats of home and away doesn't really matter. Although he does have 2 home games left and 2 away games. He has 4 games left. He can score in all 4. In all 4 of these teams that he's going to verse, league goals. Chelsea, they host. Brighton away. Liverpool, they host, who also don't know how to keep a clean sheet. And Crystal Palace away. So I can see goals across all 4 of those last games. And for me, I can really see Ole Watkins. If anybody's going to win it, it's going to be this man. He doesn't have as many fixtures left, like Haaland does, for example. But, and even Cole Palmer. Palmer has more games as well. He only has the 4 games left. But I can see Watkins scoring 1, maybe 2 in each of those games. So I really think Ole Watkins could be our top goal scorer this season. He has no limits. He has no restrictions. He's afraid of no opponent. He just goes out and scores goals. He's fantastic. He really is. Okay, then next on the list, we have probably for me, alongside one other player, the most impressive. Cole Palmer was brilliant. Watkins, amazing. And they've all been really good. But for me, this guy, the team that he plays for and what he's doing is phenomenal. Dominic Solanki. This man has been phenomenal this season. He is another one of those home, away, it doesn't matter. He scored 18 goals, so he's 2 behind the leaders, 9 at home, 9 away. Brilliant stuff from Solanke. He really has been instrumental this season. And why I praise him is because, no disrespect to Bournemouth, he's in the Bournemouth team. He's not in a team the likes of Manchester City, Aston Villa, Chelsea, Liverpool, Newcastle. He's not. He is in a Bournemouth team that's a very average team. They're a mid-table team, and because of him and his participation and what he is doing, Bournemouth are exceeding expectations. They are brilliant. Dominic Solanke, a Liverpool reject, and that's a sad one to say, considering we're sitting with somebody at the moment that's struggling to score goals. This man's scoring for fun. Also, like I said, home away, it doesn't matter. The man's 50-50 ratio, 9 away, 9 at home. Brilliant. So basically, in Solanke's last 5 games, he has 5 games left. He has 2 home games to Brentford and Brighton, where I can see goals in both. I really can. Away games to Chelsea, where they leak, Arsenal, where he will struggle, and Wolves, that can play on their day. But this is another man that I can see going all the way to the end. I think he might just fall short, based on already being 2 goals behind the likes of Palmer and Haaland. Solanke gets penalties, but he doesn't get all the penalties. So it just depends who's on the pitch at the time. But Solanke can get penalties. It's going to help his case, but 2 goals behind with the 5 games left. Not the easiest opponents if you're looking at the likes of Arsenal, Brighton, but Solanke can score. We've seen it. Home, away, he will go to every stadium or host any team and have the confidence. So I think Solanke's going to be there, but I don't think he's going to win it. I really don't. Okay, next up we have Alexandra Isak from Newcastle, another player that I've been unbelievably impressed with this season. And the reason behind it is we know Newcastle is a phenomenal team. We've seen them qualify for Champions League, play in the Champions League, in the FA Cup, all the cups. They fell short in a lot of these tournaments, but they were in them. And we know the injury crisis this season for Newcastle. And that is why I am so impressed with Isak, is because he's had very little around him to really show that Newcastle deserve to be in another Champions League spot. There's been too many injuries, and I feel very bad for this team because they're a very good team. Isak, alongside Anthony Gordon, have single-handedly picked Newcastle up and brought goals. More so at home at St. James's Park than away, but he has been phenomenal. Also, 17 goals, 3 behind. Very capable of doing it, but he lacks the away goals. This season, 12 at home, 5 away. That's not enough to justify that he could be the top goal scorer this season. It really can't, because the amounts of games that Spurs have left. Spurs have 6 games left, so a lot of games to be played, but in those 6, 2 home games. 1 to Brighton can be a very stale game, and 1 to Sheffield. I see the goals there. We remember what they did to Sheffield earlier this season, the 8-0. Now they host Sheffield. There's where I see Isak's goals coming in. They have some away games where defence are also very shaky. Manchester United, shaky defence. Burnley, very shaky defence. Brentford, depends what Brentford you're going to get on the day. And Crystal Palace. And we know Isak scored against Palace earlier this season as well. So Isak can get the goals away from home, but he hasn't done it enough this season to justify those 4 home games getting him goals. It's not the greatest defenses, so he might pop up with some goals, but the 2 home games is what really stands out and highlights for me that the 12 goals at home, the 5 away, and he only has 2 left out of 6. So it's not a good statistic going into the last few game weeks. But another man that I believe really deserves it, based off the injuries and the Newcastle problems this season, he has overperformed. And obviously competing with Callum Wilson has been another thing. He's gotten his shot while he's been injured, and he has been performing. Isak has played the least number of games out of all these strikers. He's only played 24 games compared to Solanke and Watkins, who have played 33 games. Palmer, 28. Haaland, 26. So he has played the least games, and he's right there. So like I said, a man that really deserves it among the 6 would be this man. A struggling team, least games, and competing with another lethal striker. And he's right there. For me, Isak deserves it, but I don't feel like Isak is going to win it this year. And then our last out of the 6 guys, none other than the Egyptian king, Mohamed Salah. This is a ritual for Mohamed Salah to be competing in the Golden Boot race, season in, season out. Even in his worst seasons, he's better than most of the up-and-coming stars in their best seasons. Mohamed Salah, we all know that he will continuously fight for the Golden Boot while he's in the Premier League. Whether he's going to be there next season, I don't know, but we know Mohamed Salah will always be competing. Salah lacks that clinical edge away from home, like Isak and like Palmer. That is where Salah's downfall has been. For the games that Salah has played this season, the goals have been coming from Anfield. 17 goals, 12 at home, 5 away. Same stats as Isak. It's not enough to justify winning the Golden Boot from Mohamed Salah. He is a winger, and you're comparing him to a lot of strikers here. Him and Cole Palmer have over-exceeded based off of being wingers and not strikers. They are competing with strikers right now, which is crazy if you think about it. So in the last 5 games for Liverpool, 2 are at Anfield, and one of them is a very tricky opponent in Tottenham. We remember what happened earlier this season with the Tottenham win. It's not going to be an easy game. Tottenham are going for the top four. They're going to defend. But I back Mohamed Salah at Anfield every time. No matter his form, no matter the team, I'll always back Mohamed Salah. So I can see goals coming against Spurs and Wolves at Anfield. Liverpool are playing Everton tonight. And it's the Merseyside derby. Salah loves the Merseyside derby. I've seen special goals from him in this game. So I feel Salah can get his goal tonight, move one space up, and he can compete for it. But with those number of home games left and being 3 goals behind the leaders, I don't see Salah winning it this season either. He'll be right there like the rest of them. I don't see any of these players dropping off now. I feel they're all going to push. But for me, if somebody really, I wouldn't even say deserves, but who is most probable in winning it, would have to be Ole Watkins. He, like I said, he still has a number of games to go. Home and away, can score. He doesn't have many limitations. Haaland is a doubt against Brighton, so Haaland might already miss a game there. We don't know if he's going to play yet. But overall, Ole Watkins looks the best pick. Aston Villa are in a great way right now. They do have very hard games coming up in the likes of Liverpool, Arsenal, etc. But like I said, Ole Watkins knows no bound. So for me, I can really see Ole Watkins winning the Golden Boot this season, guys. Let me know what you think. Who's going to win the Golden Boot? Is it going to be the robots? Is it going to be the kid from Chelsea? Is it Watkins or Solanke? Isak or Salah? Guys, let me know. Like, subscribe, ring the bell. I'll check you guys soon. Ciao, guys.